Hardness inspection. Importance of hardness testing. All materials required for the various structural parts of an airplane must be examined to determine the hardness as an indication of strength as specified by the appropriate drawing or by material specifications. This is accomplished by means of various types of equipments, all of which enable the operator of the instrument to determine the tensile strength of the material. Hardness testing is usually the function of the process laboratory in a manufacturing plant. However, there are times when a technician may be required to determine the hardness of a material to find out whether it is satisfactory for a particular repair. Hardness testing is hardness testing is also a method for the identification of metals and alloys. This first one is Brinell hardness test. The Brinell hardness tester shown in the figure instrument commonly used on aluminum alloy casting, forgings and billets before machining. The check of material by forcing a steel ball of a known diameter into the material by a specified and known pressure as suggested to distinct pressures are provided for ferrous, non-ferrous and soft materials. The reading is taken by measuring the width of the impression made by the steel ball in the material by means of a microscope. The reading thus obtained is compared with the established comparison chart, which gives the tensile strength for each reading. Before testing any material with the Brinell instrument, the operator must make sure that the surface of the material is clean, free and accurate reading. Material is clean, free from scale, flat and fairly smooth in order to obtain an accurate reading. The work must be adequately supported to avoid twist or movement when applying the test load. A decarburized surface might cause a low reading even though the hardness is correct. If the reading is much lower than expected, the surface should be filled or ground to remove decarburization and another test made. The instrument is never used where excessive vibration is present or on thin material where the indentation will show through. Brinell tester uses a hardened spherical ball which is forced into the surface of the metal. The ball 10 mm in bracket 0.3937 inch in diameter, a pressure of 3000 kilograms is used for ferrous metals and 500 kilograms for non-ferrous metals. The pressure must be maintained at least 10 seconds for ferrous metals and at least 30 seconds for non-ferrous metals. The load is applied by hydraulic pressure. The hydraulic pressure is built up by a hand pump or an electric motor, depending on the model of tester. A pressure gauge indicates the amount of pressure. There is a release mechanism for relieving the pressure after the test has been made, and a calibrated microscope is provided for measuring the diameter of the impression in millimeters. The machine has various shaped anvils for supporting the specimen and an elevating screw for bringing the specimen in contact with the ball penetrator. These are attachments for special tests. In order to determine the Brinell hardness number for a metal, the diameter of the impression is first measured using the calibrated microscope furnished with the tester. After measuring the diameter of the impression, the measurement is converted into the Brinell hardness number on the conversion table furnished with the tester. Rockwell tester. The Rockwell hardness tester, as shown in the figure, resistance to penetration as does the Brinell tester. Instead of measuring the diameters of the impression, the Rockwell tester measures the depth and the hardness is indicated directly on a dial attached to the machine. The dial numbers in the outer circle are black and the inner numbers are red. Rockwell hardness numbers are based on the difference between the depth of penetration at major and minor loads. The greater the difference, the hardness number and the softer the material. The two types of penetrators are used with the Rockwell tester: a diamond cone and a hardened steel ball. The load which forces the penetrator into the metal is called the major load and is measured in kilograms. The result of each penetrator and load combination are reported on separate scales designated by letter. The penetrator, the major load and the scale vary with the kind of metal being tested. For hardened steel, the diamond penetrator is used. The major load is 150 kilograms and the hardness is read on the C scale. When the reading is recorded, the letter C must precede the number indicated by the pointer. The C scale setup is used for testing metals ranging in hardness from C20 to the hardest steel in bracket usually about C-70. The metal softer than C-20, the B scale setup is used. With the setup, the 1/16 inch ball is used as a penetrator. The major load is 100 kilograms and the hardness is read on the B scale. In addition to the C and B scale, there are other setups for special testing. The scale penetrators major loads are and dial numbers to be read as listed in this figure which I am giving you. Rockwell tester is equipped with a weight pan and two weights are supplied with the machine. One weight is marked in red, the other weight is marked in black. With no weight in the weight pans, the machine applies a major load of 60 kilograms. If the scale setup calls for a 100 kilogram load, the red weight is placed in the pan. For a 150 kilogram load, the black weight is added to the red weight. The black weight is also used with the red weight. It is never used alone. Practically all testing is done with either the B scale setup or the C scale setup. For these scales, the colors may be used as a guide in selecting the weight or weights in bracket and reading the dial. For the B scale test, use the red weight and read the red numbers. For a C scale test, add the black weight to the red weight and read the black numbers. In setting up the Rockwell machine, use the diamond penetrator for testing material known to be hard. If the hardness is unknown, try the diamond, since the steel ball may be deformed if used for testing hard materials. If the metal tests below C-22, then change to the steel ball. Use the steel ball for all soft materials. Those testing less than B-100 should an overlap occur at the top of the B-scale and the bottom of the C scale. Use the C scale setup. Before the major load is applied, the test specimen must be securely locked in place to prevent slipping and to seat the anvil and penetrator properly. To do this, a load of 10 kilograms is applied before the lever is tripped. This preliminary load is called the minor load. The minor load is 10 kilograms regardless of the scale setup. The metal to be tested in the Rockwell tester must be ground smooth on two opposite sides and be free of scratches and foreign matter. The surface should be perpendicular to the axis of penetration and the two opposite ground surfaces should be parallel. If the specimen is tapered, the amount of error will depend on the taper. A curved surface will also cause a slight error on the hardness test. The amount of error depends on the curvature, that is, the smaller the radius of curvature, the greater the error. To eliminate such error, a small flat should be ground on the curved surface if possible. Clad aluminum alloy sheets cannot be tested directly with any accuracy with a Rockwell hardness tester. If the hardness value of the base metal is desired, the pure aluminum coating must be removed from the area to be checked prior to testing. Vickers hardness tester. The Vickers tester operates on a principle similar to that of the Brinell and Rockwell machine. However, the penetrator is a diamond pyramid. The Vickers tester is particularly useful for testing the hardness of very hard steel. The scale of hardness number is shown in the figure I am giving you as to read. The scleroscope hardness test. The scleroscope hardness tester, as shown in this figure, instrument used for testing the hardness of metals. This instrument tests not by indentation but by rebound. It has a diamond pointed ball that drops through a glass tube onto the material being tested. This tube is mounted with a graduated scale and the rebound on the ball or point is caught by the eye at its peaks and the corresponding graduation is then read. The instrument is also made with a direct reading head which records the amount of rebound. A soft ball is provided for the testing of non-ferrous metals and readings are taken from the same scale. When using the scleroscope, the surface of the material must be clean and smooth. The glass must be perpendicular and the material square with the glass. The hammer must not be dropped twice in the same place because this may chip the diamond point and would give a false reading. Now, calibration of hardness testers. The accuracy of the readings on the hardness testers already described should be checked frequently. The frequency of checking depending upon the extent of their use. Checking the accuracy or calibration is done by means of test blocks supplied by the manufacturers of the instruments. These blocks have been tested to positive readings against master blocks. The Brinell instruments should have a calibration check twice a day when working continuously with the same pressure. Continuous work with the Rockwell tester requires a calibration checked at least twice by an 8-hour shift. The scleroscope on production testing should have a calibration at least one each hour and erratic reading on the machine also calls for a calibration check. Any change of material beyond the scale range require a change in the machine setup, such as penetrators and loads. Such changes and made such changes are made by authorized personnel who are directly responsible for the care and upkeep of the instruments. The sole durometer for plastics and rubber. The sole durometer shown in the figure is used to determine the hardness of treated or molded rubbers, plastics and allied materials. Readings are taken directly from a reading head actuated by the upward movement of a calibrated pin that is forced against the material to be tested. The pin is spring mounted under a predetermined pressure. Hence, its travel is governed by the degree of hardness of the material being tested. Until this pressure is reached by the resistance of the material, the pin will penetrate the material up to the point where the spring pressure is overcome. Next is the Webster hand type hardness tester. The Webster hand type hardness tester is shown in this figure. A simple pliers type unit with an anvil on one jaw and a series of inclined hardness of increasing crest area on the other jaw. This instrument is used for testing aluminum and its alloys. When the indentators are forced into the metal by the action of the pliers, the number of indentations appearing on the surface is an indication of the hardness. An improved type of Webster instrument has a dialed indicator that is read directly during the plier action, thus eliminating the necessity of looking at the part to count the indentations. Care must be taken in applying the indentator jaw to be sure it is at right angles to the surface being tested, because any inclination or rotation will give inaccurate readings. Marcol hardening testing machine. Like the Webster tester, the Marcol machine is used for testing aluminum and its alloys. The machine is shown in the figure. It has a small spring-loaded needle points extending from the face of a small housing. The dial registers the amount the spring is compressed in, forcing the needle into the material until the housing face contacts the material. As more pressure is exerted in forcing the needle into harder metal, the dial registers the increased pressure exerted. The instrument may be used as the production test for heat treating after obtaining direct readings with the Rockwell instrument. The barcode tester may be adjusted for any homogeneous material to give an identical 1-point reading equivalent to any Rockwell scale reading made on the same material. On clad aluminum and other homogeneous material where the coating thickness vary with materials, the barcode tester must be calibrated against the Rockwell tester. For each gauge tested, the penetrating needle on the barcode tester is very hard and brittle. It must be applied at right angles to the surface being tested with no sliding force, or it will be broken, flattened or bent. Needles must be replaced at once. Replacement is made only by the authorized personnel because it requires disassembling and resulting of the spring. Disassembly and resetting of the spring. Resetting consists of preloading the spring so that the instrument will be centered to give direct readings other than the entire aluminum alloy range. In either of the Webster or the Barco machine, the indicator must be radically examined to detect whether or not soft material is adhering to the jaws. Now figure shows the proper for testing hollow tubing. Testing without an internal support as shown in figure. Result in a false reading because the tubing will tend to flatten and permit increased movement of the testing needle. When a curved rod is tested for hardness, the rod must be placed as shown in the figure. The rod is placed in the convex position as shown in the certain amount of the will take place with the result that a false reading will be obtained. Now the barcode tester from the next text. The barcode tester as given in the figure. The barcode tester is a portable unit designed for testing aluminum alloys, copper, brass or other relatively soft material. It should not be used on aircraft steels. Approximate range of the tester is 25 to 100 Brinell. The unit can be used in any position and in any spares that will allow for operator's hand. It is of great value in the hardness testing of assembled or installed parts, especially to check for proper heat treatment. The hardness is indicated on the dial conventionally divided into 100 gauges. The design of the barcode tester is such that operating experience is not necessary. It is only necessary to exert a light pressure against the instrument to drive the spring-loaded indenter into the material to be tested. The hardness reading is instantly indicated on the dial. Several typical readings for aluminum alloys are listed in figure. Note that the harder the material is, the higher the barcode number will be. To prevent damage to the point, avoid sliding or scraping when it is contact with the material being tested. If the point should become damaged, it must be replaced with a new one. No attempt should be made to grind the point. This tester is supplied with a test disc for checking the condition of the point. To check the point, press the instrument down on the test disc. When the downward pressure brings the end of the lower plunger guide against the surface of the disc, the indicator reading should be within the range shown on the test disc.